Choke clip got nerfed, but here's why you shouldn't be bothered by it. For the uninitiated, choke clip is a perk that drops only on weapons with a stasis singe. It was first introduced back in the Witch Queen and became a massively popular perk with the changes made to subclass verbs and their interaction with champions going into Lightfall. If you are still not aware as to what these changes are, check the description for my video talking about it. Anyways, with the release of Season of the Witch, Bungie decided to finally focus on choke clip, and therefore they nerfed it. So today, I wanted to talk about this nerf, break it down a bit, and explain why it really didn't do much. So with that being said, I'm SniperKH, and let's get to it. Okay, let's start with what choke clip does. Choke clip is a perk that currently only rolls on select few fusion rifles, grenade launchers, rocket launchers, and swords, and allows you to apply stacks of slow onto targets. As mentioned in the intro, this perk became significantly more popular thanks to its interactions with champions and Lightfall, and due to this popularity and strength in high-end content, Bungie seemingly took action with Season of the Witch. The changes to choke clip can be found in the patch notes that were released alongside Season of the Witch, but you can also find them in the description below. In the patch notes, Bungie clarified that this perk will now only apply 40 stacks of slow instead of the 60 that it used to apply. So what does this mean? Well, it now takes 3 shots to freeze targets instead of the 2 that it took prior to Season of 22, which means that it will now take longer to freeze unstoppable champions in in-game content, with the effect that this perk had on overload champions being untouched. But as I'm sure you can tell by the title in the intro, this change did nothing to the perk, as it is still a top tier option. That said, I do believe it made certain weapons target a specific champion and made other weapons useless. What do I mean by that? Well, let me show you. So, as of the time of this recording, choke clip rolls on 12 weapons, but the nerf towards the utility of this perk has only been affected for 2 of the more popular choices. Those 2 weapons are the Lingering Dread and the Arvindil FR6. When it comes down to Lingering Dread, this weapon already wasn't amazing for dealing with unstoppable champions due to the fact that it can only fire 1 shot at a time, and that 1 shot couldn't freeze unstoppable champions. However, with this change, Lingering Dread has become a useless option against unstoppable champions, at least in my opinion. That being said, I still think this perk on the Lingering Dread can still make it a top tier option as long as it's used against overload champions. For the Arvindil, however, I find this weapon has become useless as well. I mentioned this weapon when I originally spoke on this perk's buff, and mentioned that it wasn't the best option to pair choke clip with, but it could still work. However, with the nerf, I think it's safe to say that this weapon shouldn't be an option for you, as Riptide and Deliverance are still and will always be the better options for dealing with champions. So, for the 3 of you who still use Arvindil unironically, I think it's time to jump ship to either one of those 2 options. So, in the end, what really changed regarding the meta? Well, nothing much. Riptide with choke clip will still continue to be a top tier option in in-game content. The only change to the meta that has been made in light of this nerf is that very few options to counter unstoppable champs are now being used more frequently in in-game content, although the usual go-to options have continued to reign supreme. Basically, if you're a part of the community that uses a choke clip Riptide for overload and unstoppable champions, then you've basically been unaffected by the nerfs. Well, that'll wrap it up for today. If you found it helpful, consider dropping a like and subscribing for more Destiny 2 content dropping weekly. If you have content you'd like to see from me, then drop a comment and letting me know and I'll be sure to cover it. Otherwise, check out my other social media platforms linked in the description below for more content posted by me. With that being said, I'm SniperKH, and I'm out. Good luck with gaming.